If you're an artist of any sort, a writer, dancer, filmmaker, painter, and you're struggling to own your space as an artist, or to put your work out there, or maybe you don't even think of yourself as an artist, but you've written a poem, you've created a picture that you hesitate to let others see, even though you want to put it out there, then I suggest you listen to this short preface that Soren Kierkegaard wrote for a book of his discourses. Now, in this preface, he visualizes the publication of his book in two different ways. First of all, he visualizes that it's going to be a kind of journey when the book is published, a journey the book takes into the world. And secondly, he visualizes it as a kind of sitting still, standing in place, the way a book does when it's sitting on a bookshelf, right? Waiting for a customer to come and purchase it. My thoughts over the years have often been drawn back to this preface of Kierkegaard's whenever I've struggled with worries or anxieties about how something I want to express is going to be received by other people. Well, here's the preface. I have not bidden this little book farewell without an almost fantastic hope. Inasmuch as being published, it is in a figurative sense starting a journey, I let my eyes follow it for a little while. I saw how it wended its way down solitary paths, or walked solitary on public roads. After a few little mistakes, through being deceived by a fleeting resemblance, it finally met that single individual whom I, with joy and gratitude, call my reader. That single individual it is seeking, to whom, so to speak, it stretches out its arms. That single individual who is favorably enough disposed to allow himself to be found, favorably enough disposed to receive it, whether at the time of the encounter it finds that person cheerful and confident or weary and pensive. On the other hand, inasmuch as in being published, this little book actually remains quiet without moving from the spot, I let my eyes rest on it for a little while. It stood there like a humble little flower under the cover of the great forest, sought neither for its splendor, nor its fragrance, nor its food value. But I also saw, or thought I saw, how the bird I call my reader suddenly noticed it, flew down to it, picked it, and took it home. And when I had seen this, I saw no more. That preface never fails to move me. Kierkegaard believes in the infinite worth and value of a single human being. Well, how many more infinities do you need? If you add something of value to one life, and that life itself is of infinite worth, then what you've added to that life itself becomes of infinite value. How many more infinities do you need? I think this is very real to Kierkegaard. I'm sure he had his battles with ego, as we all do, wanting to impress the crowd. But I'm also sure that he fought the good fight against that, and quite sincerely in his heart knew that one reader was all he really needed for his work not to have been in vain. We live in an age, of course, that believes exactly the opposite, don't we? An age that craves followers and likes on social media, that craves fame or at least popularity, where success is measured not by the qualitative change you can make in the life of a single person, but by the size of the crowd you can amass behind you. Usually, of course, with a corresponding increase in your bank account. I think, to be honest, this poses a temptation for most of us. But I also think it's death to anyone who wants to find their voice and to put their voice out there into the world through their medium of choice. Now, if you're one of those people, you can take these lessons from Kierkegaard. First of all, Do your work in a spirit of hope, that it might find and affect one person and settle into connection with that imaginary person, allowing yourself to experience a sense of gratitude that they've allowed you and your work into the infinite intimacy of their soul. 1 million likes on Facebook are like 1 million feathers balanced on a scale over against the solid gold brick of that person's life into which you have brought something meaningful. Oh, come on, Jim. Really? Those are lovely platitudes. But are you really satisfied with reaching one friggin' person? I mean, let's get real here, right? Okay, well, of course, I would like to reach a lot of people. I even take the steps from time to time in an attempt to widen my sphere of influence. And like most people, yes, I would truly love to make a living doing what I love, and it's hard to do that without a broad audience. So yes, there is that. But it's a wonderful thing to be able to say, and to mean it, that I wouldn't trade the meaning I get from doing what I love and expressing it to other people for any money or notoriety. And meditating with joy on my solitary reader or listener, the one who engages with what I put out there into the world, helps me to keep my priorities straight. And secondly, recognize that it is your job, it is your duty to put your expression out there and then let it go. When the bird picks the book and takes it home, that's as far as Kierkegaard can see. When I had seen this, I saw no more. He can't see what the reader will do with his book. He can't see what thoughts they might have while they're reading it, what impact it might have, what changes it might inspire, what ripple effect it might have if the reader shares what they've learned with others. We can't see any of that. We can't control the results or predict them, but we can honor our voice and our duty to put it out there, and we can pray that it finds its way to the home where it's going to make some difference and have meaning. And we can meditate upon the fact that the value of our expression and its reception, even by just one other person, is of absolute worth, which means that it simply cannot be judged over against any number, even 1 million, and found wanting. On the contrary, it's something for which we can be very grateful.